now we are switching to the bigger room. Okay, the colder room, unfortunately. Okay, it is you get the nice view. The view is not even here. Let's show everyone. Oh, wrong one. Show everyone the view, because if I'm gonna be cold, everyone should at least see the view. Okay, let's see. Can everyone see the view? Okay, so we have a very nice Singapore view. Okay, yeah, enjoy the view because I'm sitting in the super cold room for that. Okay, yes, so we were doing grammar. Okay, for those who were in our last live, so sorry that we had to cut the last live short. Okay, we have now yeah, we will now continue, right? Okay, we need to, yeah, all right, welcome. Okay, 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 let's take a look. Okay, now over here we have this. Okay, so while I'm waiting for more people to come in, I will write out the rest of it. Okay, if you have any answers to the questions, feel free to just type it out in the chat.
I'm sorry, more to the left.
Okay, let's.
Thank you.
Okay. Can everyone see me properly? All right, everyone should be able to see me properly. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the live. Hi Hannah, welcome to the live. I don't think it's a coincidence that you're in the live. Yesterday, I was watching this. Is she a YouTuber? Her name is Hannah. Maybe my phone heard me say the name Hannah too many times yesterday when I was sharing about the YouTube video. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. All right, now while we are waiting, okay, does anyone have any answers? Does anyone have any answers? Okay, actually, I'm gonna try typing. I don't know if this is going to work in my favor. Okay, oh, this is a very small screen. Welcome to the live, everyone. So glad you could join us. Okay. Welcome everyone to the live. Oh, this is so hard to use. Okay, I'm just gonna write. Okay, welcome everyone to the live. Okay. Okay, let me just go through this. Okay, every Saturday morning, my brother and I blank up early to visit our grandmother. So over here, we see people had said the answer wake. Okay, now I'm gonna explain again why it is not wakes or woke. Okay, now over here, we have annotated that this is my brother and I. It is plural. We are talking about two people. Okay, and then we have the word present because it is Saturday morning. Okay, so over here, woke is past tense and wakes is singular. So we are choosing wake. Okay, wake up early to visit our grandmother. She lives in a small house that blank, surrounded by a beautiful garden. What answer might that be? What might be the answer? Does anybody know what might be the answer? Does anyone know what might be the answer? Okay, can anyone guess? All right. Can anyone guess? Okay, you guys can take a look over here. Okay, now I'm gonna annotate it with you guys. Please join me at annotating. Okay, please ask me if you have any questions. Okay, now we're talking about she lives in a small house. Okay, we're talking about the house here, a small house. Okay, this is singular. Singular that is surrounded by. Okay, so we are using. Okay, so the answer is that is. Okay, we're still using present. We're still using present. Okay. Okay. Surrounded by a beautiful garden. Last week we blank her some cookies that our mother had baked. What might the answer be? Does anyone know what the answer might be? Last week we blank her some cookies that our mother had baked. The options we have is bring, brought, brings. Okay. How do I pronounce your name? Is it Lika? Did I pronounce it right? I'm so sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Okay. Okay. Lika says brought. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now, the main thing over here is that we are talking about last week. That is the main thing. So it is past tense. Past tense meaning that we're talking about brought. Okay. Because bring and brings is not past tense. So we are circling brought. The answer is brought. Great job, Lika. Oh, not spelling that right. Okay, some cookies that our mother had baked. Okay, now I'm gonna write the next question because we're doing this live and I do not have the questions here for some reason. Okay, okay. While we were there, my brother accidentally blank. Okay, you guys can start guessing. Drop slash dropped slash drops a glass of water on the floor. Okay, what might the answer be? What might the answer be? What might the answer be? Does anyone know what the answer might be? What might the answer be? Does anyone have any idea what the answer might be? Okay, I'm gonna continue writing while we wait for some answers to start rolling in. Okay, I understand that now it's almost 5. Everyone is in a very kind of mood. Everyone's in a, they're all very, it's a nap time. It's nap time. Okay, Lika says drop. Lika, am I pronouncing your name right? Okay, now let's annotate. Okay, now we are talking about while we were there. Okay, now the thing is, while we were there, we are talking about last week still. Okay, so unfortunately this would mean that this is past tense. Okay, so past tense, drop is, I'm pronouncing your name right? Great, awesome. Drop is not past tense. Drops is not past tense, so we have to choose dropped, unfortunately. Okay, so do take note that we're talking about last week. Okay, so even when doing grammar, it's not all about what word comes right before it, what word comes right after it. You also have to take note a bit of the context, especially here, since you see over here, this is the next paragraph where we're talking while we were there. Okay, but we're talking about last week. Okay, so we have to take that into consideration. Okay, do take note of such things. Okay, it is super important. Okay, and then fortunately, grandma, oh goodness me, Unfortunately, grandma blank. Options being was slash were slash is not angry. Okay, she just smiled. Okay, you can start coming up the answers and let me know. I'm just gonna continue writing. She just smiled and handed him a cloth to clean up. Clean it up, sorry. Okay, any answers, Lika? What might your answer be? Okay. Does anyone have any answers? Ooh, we have a lot of new people watching the live. Be more careful next time. She blank says said gently. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Okay, now I'm gonna look at this question. Okay, fortunately, grandma was where is not angry. Okay, now over here, what is the main thing that we're talking about? Who are we talking about? We're talking, Lika says was. Okay, we're talking about grandma. Okay, grandma is singular. She is a single person. Okay, okay, and we have been talking about past tense. Great job, great job. Okay, we're still talking about past tense. Okay, so obviously is not going to be the answer because we're talking about past tense. Okay, where is for plural, so it is not applicable in this case. We will be left with was, and was is correct. You're getting the hang of it, Lika. Great job. You're getting the hang of it. Okay. She just smiled and handed him a cloth to clean it up. Be more careful next time. She blinked. What might the answer be? What might the answer be? Okay, now we're still talking about grandma over here, right? What might the answer be? You guys can put the answer in as I write in the last part of this question. Okay, we will move on to something. We'll move on to another section. What answers might you guys have? Okay, said. Okay. Okay, let's take a look over here. Okay, now the thing is, again, we're still talking about past tense. And when you're talking about past tense, one thing about dialogue is that you are usually using reported speech, okay? Past tense will be reported speech, right? Okay, that's how it works. If you're talking about present tense, like I am telling you something right now, I'm using direct speech, okay? That's different, okay? She, okay, so over here, she says, these are all not past tense, say says, not past tense, answer being said, so you are correct. Great job. I think Lika, you're a fast learner, definitely a fast learner. I just had to point out one thing and you were immediately able to get all the following questions correct, right? She reminded us to always blank, blank, help, helps, and helped others, and be kind. Okay, so what might the answer be? What might the answer be? We blank promised, promises to visit her. Okay, do you have any answers? Now I'm going to go through it, right? Okay, before she left, she reminded us to. Okay, now the thing about to, words to is usually followed by the base form. Okay, so since we are talking about to always, so if we are looking at the base form, so now the base form out of all of this, okay, so we're ignoring the fact that it requires that past tense. Okay, help, you are correct. Out of all this, help is the base form. Right, great job. All right, to be kind, we blank. Okay, we blank to visit her again the following week. Okay, any answers? Any answers? Any answers? Okay, I'm just gonna go through it. Promise? Okay, let's see. Okay, now we're talking about a past tense. Again, okay. Okay, past tense over here. Promise. Promises are both not past tense, so we are left with promised. So that is correct. Great job, Lika. Okay, now let's try something more challenging. Okay, now let's try something more challenging. Okay. Okay, let's try something more challenging.
What paper is this, Valerie?
It's my own questions.
We don't have questions to use from the ebooks.
I finished then. They wanted something new. They kept saying, "Why are you repeating the questions?"
Got it. Okay.
Okay, let's try something difficult. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do something that tests the way you convert words. Okay, so now this is important. Okay. If James blank, okay, now the word that I'm giving you guys to convert is study. Oh, I know why my handwriting is so ugly. Beyond the fact that I just have bad handwriting. Is that
When you turn on the pressure, does it make a difference?
yes. And it's a very thick pen. That's why I was
Okay,
like,
pressure
why
is
is my handwriting uglier than usual today?
Maybe write in 3 lines because it's very small from my phone.
Oh, I
It
see.
may help for the.
Okay, let's see.
It is better if it's just bigger and then.
My handwriting just
Yeah,
gets
just-
ugly and uglier the bigger it is. Okay, if James blank, okay, study harder
Definitely better.
last year. Okay, now what would you convert the word study to? What would you convert that word to? Okay, now we're testing how well you guys are able to convert certain words in grammar. Okay, these are all super important. Okay, because we actually previously talked about irregular verbs. Okay, so this is one of the best times for you to test that. Okay, now I already said that well, irregular verbs is not something that is directly tested on during the exam. They won't have a section and say please write out all the irregular verbs. It is something that can pop up during grammar. So maybe they want you to convert something, and it's so important that you know the forms of different wording. Okay, so Lika says had study. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, now over here we are using the word if. Okay, now personally I hate the word if. I see everyone maybe they struggle a bit more. Okay, now the reason why people struggle with the word if is because it's a conditional. Okay, it's a conditional. Okay, Lika says had study. I'm gonna write that down. Had studied. Okay, now with a conditional you will be using a third conditional to describe a hypothetical situation. So for a hypothetical situation, you would have used had and studied. Okay, so it will be if plus past perfect. Okay, so we are using a past perfect over here. Okay, which is had studied. You are correct. Okay, oh, you said had studied. Okay, the answer is had studied. Okay, we'll be using a past perfect. Okay, had is correct. You are very, very close. Okay, it is had studied. Very close. Okay, he he something in the top class now. Okay, what might the answer be? Do let me know the answer as I continue writing this. Any answers? Okay, any answers? Okay. Let me just finish this question and I will go through it. Okay, if anyone has any answers right now, please just drop it in the comment section below and we will go through it together. Okay, but at the same time, if you have any questions about paper 2, please let me know. Okay, we will go through them. Okay, and I can prepare notes according to what you guys think. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, now over here we are talking about he is in the top of his class. Okay, so now again we're talking about conditional. Okay, again, like I said before, it is not only about the front and the back, it is about the entire context of what you're writing. Okay, over here we're still talking about that conditional. Okay, okay. Okay, any answers? Okay, again, still conditional. Okay, so we would need a third conditional result clause. Okay, so this would mean that we would have a would plus base verb. Okay, so we will be talking about the present result of a past event. Okay, now I understand that maybe some people are struggling with this one, but these questions are a bit harder. Okay, so it's normal, it's okay, we can work together. Okay, over here let's take a look. Okay, so we would add the word would and be. The base verb is be as over here. Okay, so we learn how to convert. Okay, Of course, if you guys feel like you guys need the extra practice, okay, we are currently offering the ebook. Our ebook has those kind of extra practices. So definitely, if you're struggling a bit, it's okay. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Now these questions I'm doing are slightly different because these questions are focused. Are questions I made to help students be a bit more focused on learning how to switch certain learn a bit more of the grammar rules, okay, learn how to work around irregular verbs, okay, but the questions that are on our ebook will be more exam based, okay, so definitely if you're looking for some top school questions to work with, you're looking for that consolidated practice right before your exam, that ebook is for you. Okay. Okay, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay. Okay. Instead, he blanked most of his time playing video games. Okay. Okay. Now over here we are talking. Okay, Lika says spend. Okay, he spent. Okay, now we are still talking about instead. So we're talking about now we are reverting back to the current situation. Okay, now but we also have to note that we're talking about last year. So in this section we are still talking about the past. We will be using past tense. Okay, so it is a bit difficult. Okay, spent over here it will be past simple, meaning the answer is spent. That is correct. Good job, Lika. Okay, now his teachers blanked him several times, but he did not listen. Okay, this is a trick question. Do you know this is a trick question? This one, please be extra careful. It's a trick. It's a trick. I'm already telling you it's a trick. Okay, I'm gonna write the second paragraph as you guys read this. Ooh, okay, Lika gave an answer. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Okay, the answer is had worn. Good job, Lika. You are on fire. All right. Okay. Now the reason why it's had worn. Okay, for everyone else that's here, let's I'm gonna give it a bit of explanation. Okay. Well, it is. This is past perfect. Okay. This is past perfect. It is not past simple. Okay. This is past perfect because essentially over here what we're doing is that we are talking about a situation that happened before his continued lack of effort. Okay, so we're talking his teacher had warned him several times but he did not listen, so it shows that he spent most of his time playing video games. This was after this. Okay, so we'll be using past perfect over here. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, and over here let's talk about, okay, this is the second paragraph. Yesterday his report book hand to his parents during the parent teacher meeting. Okay, now what might the answer be over here? Yesterday his report book blank to his parents during the parent teacher meeting. What might the answer be? Okay. Ooh, okay. Because it's had been handed. Ooh. Okay, okay. Let's take a look. Yesterday, his book report. Okay. Now, let's talk about what it is. Okay. Now, his report book to his parents. Okay. So this is passive voice. Okay. It's not that he handed the report book. It's the report book what nearly gave the answer away. Okay, I'm just gonna say the answer was handed. Okay, the report book was handed. Okay, it's passive voice. Okay, because we're talking about his report book. Okay, so now had been handed. Okay, it's unfortunately not correct. Okay, it is was handed. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. Does anyone have answers for the next one? Does anyone have answers for the next one? Okay. Oh, the WSP. Where did my stylus go? Okay, it's here. Okay. 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 Let me see. Oh, I did not even finish the question. WSP, are you talking about they disappointed? As in, like, they were disappointed? Is that what you meant? Okay, that is correct. I did not even get to finish writing the question. Okay, let me just finish writing the question real quick. Okay, when they, oh yeah, okay, let me just finish this. Saw his results. Okay, now the answer is were. You are correct. Okay, now we are talking about they, which is his parents. His parents, so it is plural. Okay, so we're talking about, we're going to use the word were. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, you must. Okay, now I'm going to give you guys a bit of some options over here. Okay, oops. Okay, what might the answer be? Oh. Okay, Lika says could. Okay, I see. I see. You could. That is correct. Okay, because especially we're talking about here, we're talking about could. It's a possibility in a past. So again, it's a, so he could have. Okay. So that's why we're not using can, because can is present. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part. Okay. James knew he, okay, oh, 8, have to make a change, okay, from that. What might the answer be? Okay, you guys can start on this question. Okay, I see some answers. Okay, let me just finish this. We are almost done with this. We will move on to an even harder sad. So we're just moving up and up, okay? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, I see the answer hat, okay? Okay, now let's take a look. Okay, over here, we are talking about a realized necessity, okay? So now, had could be a conditional. That means had she done something, she would have something. Or it could be a realized necessity. That means you realize that something, you require something. She had to do this, okay? And this is correct. Had, because we are using simple past, okay? So in the previously we were talking about James doing something wrong, and then now we're suddenly back to the present, okay? So we're talking about had, so it is simple present, okay? Simple past, sorry. Okay, simple past, okay? From that day on, he promised, he blank, okay? He blank. Okay, any answers? Okay. Any answers? Okay, I'm just gonna go through. From that day on, he promised he. Okay, now we are talking about he's saying that he would do something in the future. Okay, this is in the future. Okay. Okay, so over here, okay, this is he is making this decision here in the past. Okay, so we are using the word would and not will. He promised he will revise his work. That is not correct. He would revise his work, okay, because he's making a promise from the past. Okay, do note that. Okay, these small details are super important. Okay. Okay, and something his screen time. Okay. Okay, there's no change needed over here. We can use simple. Okay, because this is continuous after the word revise. Okay, you use would here already, so we would just say limit. Okay, that is the answer. All right. Okay, let's spend a little bit more time on the questions. Okay. Okay. Is there any questions that anyone has? Any questions that anyone has before I move on? Okay, anyone, any questions? Wait, water in my mouth. Hi, Nathan. All right, hi. All right. Okay, now let's do this one. Okay. Hi, Nathan. Okay. This is the next question. Okay, I think it's a bit better to do the multiple choice. Okay, let's give it a try again. Okay, this is also a bit harder. always dreamed. Send something random. Sorry. What do you mean? What do you mean sends something random? Thank you so much. Nathan sent a gift.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that a cat? Wow. Thank you so much, Nathan. 2 random things? Oh, wow. Wait, where can I see it? It popped up on my screen and it suddenly just went away. It's okay, I'll check it later. But wow, thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Nathan. And you sent one of my favorite animals, so double happy. All right. Okay, where was I? Hi, Sir Cookie. Hi, what are you doing today? Okay, I see a lot of people, they are in their holiday season right now. Everyone's just chilling out. Okay, what is everyone doing? I need some inspiration, okay, to plan my holidays. I need some inspiration, okay? We had a lot of people talking about going overseas. We even had people telling me where I should go if I went to Japan, okay? And then there are people going to Brisbane. Okay, these are all very fun places, but and everyone is telling me that, oh, I'm going to this place, you should go to this place too. And I'm like, it's a lot of different places you guys are all asking me to go to. Eat eat is something that will forever hold a special place in my heart. I'm a massive foodie, but I'm also a foodie with no standards when it comes to food, meaning that when I go out with my friends, I think one thing they find, I wouldn't say they find a bit annoying about me, but some of them definitely, I feel like they do, is that no matter where we go, when they say, let's rate the food, for me, it's always an 8 to a 10. Unless it's really bad. If you get a 5 from me, then that says a lot, all right? So, yeah, I have little to no standards when it comes to food. All right, everything is always the best thing I've ever eaten. All right, so yes, Nathan, understand. Eat. It will always be eat. Okay. Okay. Let's start. As you guys do this question, I will write the names. Okay, Jason blank. So the options are has always dreamed, to had always dreamed, and always dream. Dreams. Okay, of becoming a wildlife photographer. Okay, what might the answer be? What might the answer be? I'm gonna wait for some answers. If not, I'm just doing the questions myself. Okay, waiting for some answers. Okay, if you guys need a bit of help or you guys have any other questions about paper 2, please let me know. Okay, please let me know. Okay, Lika. Okay, Lika sent an answer. Okay, let's see. Does anyone else have any answers? Anyone else has any answers? Anyone? Okay, I'm gonna see that Lika is the only answer. Okay. Let me see. Who is behind the scenes? We have teacher Mitsugo here behind the scenes. Alright. So we previously had teacher Yahweh behind the scenes, and now we have teacher Mitsuko behind the scenes. Alright. Okay, let's do the questions. Okay. Nathan, do you have could you guess what the first answer might be? Okay, could you guess maybe what the first answer might be? Okay. Okay. Uh, uh, that is such a valid response. That is my response too when I'm doing questions. For me, I feel like I always do the when I am doing math. English, I enjoy doing English. Has? It's the first one. Okay. So Nika says had always dream, and Nika says has always dream. Okay, now let's see what the answer is. Okay, now over here we are talking about the present. Okay, we're talking about the present of becoming a wildlife photographer. This word suggests that he is not yet a wildlife photographer. Okay, not yet. So if he does become a wildlife photographer, it will be in the future. Okay, so now since we are talking about something in the present that we want to continue into the long term or into the future, okay, we will be using present perfect. Okay, and for present perfect, I just guessed TBH because I said the word guess, right? I should say deduce, deduce. All right, the answer will be has. Okay, has always. Oh, we're out of space. Dreamed. Okay, you are correct. You guessed correctly. Okay, now again, it is present perfect. That is why we're using has always. Okay. Okay, last month he blank. I didn't guess. So when you get it correct, you didn't guess. But when you are not sure whether or not it's correct, it's I guessed. It's okay. Fair. I would have said that too. All right. Okay. Any idea what the second one is? La 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 len. La 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 len. Lika said send, had sent, was sending, and sent. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Let's see what the answer might be. Okay, now, seeing as we are talking about last month, this is the key, last month. Okay, so we are talking about the past. Okay, so we will be using simple past because there's nothing else. Last month, simple past. And for simple past, we will simply be using sent. Last month he sent. Nathan got it correct. Nathan! Wow!
Is last month in the entire screen, or is it? Because in
Oh, right.
banana,
Yeah.
yes, I will need you to give a slight space at the sides, correct? This
Yes,
is
yes. It is a
It
bit.
gets cut in an
I think
iPhone.
for me, I always think that when it's screen share, it's my entire screen.
It is. It is.
But
it's just cut slightly
yeah.
in an iPhone. Android is okay. So whatever
Oh.
is in your screen, it's actually totally shown.
Because I'm viewing from an iPhone as well.
Correct.
Oh, so
Maybe my phone. I don't
no,
know.
it cut. It cut. It was cut as
It
well.
cuts slightly at the sides, but I'm
That
adjusting
is
it
very.
from
That's
Studio
very.
Live.
That's very annoying.
So that's why there's like a very funny space at the sides here. You see,
That
right?
is very annoying.
Yeah, but yeah, correct. So I just need that slight space at the
That's
sides. Now
true.
it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to be a bit more careful. All right. Okay. So again, simple past because we're simply talking about last month. All right. Okay. So we are not using had sent or was sent. Sending. Okay. Okay, let's go on to the second part. Okay. Before we have around 10 more minutes, we are going to do around 2 questions more, and then I will go through some of the materials we have, okay, for those students who want a bit more practice in their own time, okay? Okay. Okay, by the time you guys can feel free to start answering the questions already. because the information is mostly out. Okay, you can start guessing. Okay, this is it. Hi, Will. Thank you so much for liking the live. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, does anyone have any idea what the answers might be? Okay. Okay, we're gonna go through this really quick. If not, we're gonna run out of time. Okay. Almost done. Okay, you guys can start answering questions. Okay. Okay. Okay, this will be the last part before we go through our ebooks. Okay. Okay, by the time the results blank, okay, options being by the time the results were announced, and had announced. Okay, what might the answer be? Does anyone have any idea what the answer might be? Okay, let's look at the answers. By the time the results were announced, that's the answer. Okay, now I'm gonna explain why. Okay, now this is a passive voice. The results were announced by someone, not someone announced the result. Okay, so this is a passive voice. Okay, so the answer is were. Okay, were announced. Okay, just gonna circle it. Okay, Jason blank for several weeks. Okay, so over here the options are waited, had waited, and waits. Okay, now we are over here, we are talking about several weeks. Okay, so this is action 1. So he waited for several weeks, that is action 1. And action 2 is the results being announced, which is, okay, action 2. Okay, now when you see that one action happens before the other, okay, and both of them happen in the past, okay, we will be using something called past perfect. Okay, so with past perfect, we will be choosing had waited. Okay, by the time the results were announced, Jason had waited for several weeks. He was thrilled when he blank that he won second prize. Is there a life of the mind? Is there a life of the mind?
Is there a live of the mic? Say it again.
Is there a live of the mind? Another live session?
No, because we're having a meeting.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay, does anyone have any other answers? Okay, if not, I'm just gonna go through it. We are almost done. Okay, he was thrilled when he. Okay, now what we're gonna say here is he was thrilled. Let's see. There's nothing here except for the fact that this is in the past, right? Thrilled, so it tells us that this is the past. Okay, so we will be using simple past. When he found out. Found out. Lika, unfortunately the answer is found out. Okay, he was sure when he found out. Okay, because it's simple past. Okay, there's nothing more to it. It is just that this is in the past. We take that away from the answer from trailed. Okay, this is from in the past when he found out that he won second prize. Okay, all simple past. Okay, we are gonna follow that. Okay, we're gonna follow that. Okay, now we have 3 minutes left, but good job, Lika. Good job. I see that even though it's just one session, I see that bit of improvement in you, definitely. Okay, especially with the first one. This one is definitely a lot harder than the first one we did. But for the first one, you can definitely see that once I gave you that tip, you instantly just learn. You instantly just picked it up. Okay, so I would just say more practice. Okay, now for practice, let me just go through some things that we have for everyone. Okay, so now for students, okay, especially for PSLE students, okay, we have this. It is the 1000 PSLE grammar MCQs. Okay, so it covers the most essential and challenging grammar questions and rules that primary 6 students must know. Okay, so maybe it's things that you guys are struggling with or essential information that is just important to you in the exam. All right, okay, and it is excellent for daily practice, time drills, or mock tests. Okay, so these are all practices and they are all popular top school questions. Okay, so students can take a look at this. Okay, especially students who have really enjoyed doing grammar with me in this live session. This is a great time for you guys to make this purchase and to actually have something to work with on your own. Okay, now over here, these questions will be based on the exam kind of questions. Okay, it is the popular tested PSLE questions. Okay, and it contains 1000 PSLE grammar MCQs. Okay, we did not go through S&Ts or the others, but I'm gonna go through S&Ts really quickly, okay? Because I understand some students either love S&Ts or I hate S&Ts, but it's something that you just have to know, all right? I will go through the other ebooks in the next session, okay? But for now, this is the S&Ts, okay? So again, we have a huge variety of ebooks with S&Ts, with editing, we have vocab, we have model composition, we have oral, okay? So definitely as an English tuition center, we also want to make sure that students who are studying at home by themselves have enough resources for that, okay? So over here, we have the 1000 PSLE synthesis and transformation questions. Over here, you can see these are again popular PSLE questions, and it has 1000 top school questions. Okay, now this is something is real questions from top schools, and it's for targeted S&T practice for those who feel like you guys are just very weak with S&Ts. Don't worry, just practice, trust me. Okay, now this book is specially designed to provide students with that focused practice. Okay, students can definitely use this chance to master the skills needed to ace the exam. Okay, for students who are interested with the price, both books that I just went through are $19.90. Okay, but however, we do have a huge variety of ebooks. Okay, if there's anything more that you're interested in, you can go to our Podia website and take a look. Okay, it is, you can just search right at word Podia and it should pop up. Okay, over there you will be able to find some bundle prices for students who are buying more books. Okay, do check out the selections that we have for more information. Okay, or if you have any further questions that you just can't seem to find answers to, that is completely all right. We have the WhatsApp number over here, 8404-9281. Always feel free to text us. We have a whole team ready to help you. Okay, but for me on my end, this is the end of my live. Okay, I was really happy that I'm able to share all this with you guys. Okay, definitely let me know if there's anything else you guys want to hear, but for now, this is the end. All right.